It was a normal night, just like tonight. My husband ordered pizza and I picked up the beer. I wanted nothing more than to unwind from the harsh day of work. So, what did I do? My husband and I made love, took a shower, and ate pizza. Being gamers, we owned 2 televisions, 2 systems, and a computer. We playfully bickered on what we were going to play, as I wanted to play Under the Arrival, he wanted to play Smite. Normally, we didn't have qualms over the games we played, so I devised a plan. Turning to look at him, I crossed my arms over my breasts. How about we play a game of Minecraft hide and seek? I watched his green eyes flash a challenge. Oh, he replied. I nodded. He gave a smirk and I watched his dimples deepen. You hide and I seek? He asked. I nodded again. It's how we've always handled these kind of disputes. You grab the beer and I'll set it up. I watched his naked body rise from the couch and sauntered over to our entertainment system. Tossing my legs off the couch, I went into the kitchen to the fridge. I pulled out our favorite beer, not your grandpa's root beer. It wasn't strong, but it tasted good enough that you would want to keep drinking. I bought both 6-packs and returned to the living room. He, already sitting on the couch, his back to me, I tilted my head looking over his beautiful body. His hair was a soft brown. He lifted weights quite frequently, so his upper body was rather muscular, which I never minded. He leaned back, and I'd gotten a good look at him. Toned chest, abs, and beautiful toned legs. I smiled at myself. I wasn't going to start getting on anything else from the hips down. My cheeks flushed as I came back. Sitting next to him, he cracked 2 open, one for me, one for him. Our 2 controllers set up, and he returned to his gaming position. So, whoever wins gets to pick the game. I looked over at him, and he had a cheeky grin, green eyes looking me over. How about who's going to be on top? I gently smacked his arm. Oh, come on. Let's play. I looked at our large television. I went through the worlds we had, and one stopped me. It was labeled hide and seek. I gave my husband a look and shrugged. We had had many drunk Minecraft nights, so I wouldn't be surprised if we had made it before. I took a drink of my beer and clicked enter. The world loaded up in record time. I turned us both invisible, and we both tossed through the map. The world was different from most Minecraft's worlds. There was no music, no sound, only the pitter-patter of rain. It was oddly quiet. Normally there would have been sounds of animals, villagers, and since I was near the ocean, the sounds of the water striking the beach. Even at night, the creatures were prowling. There was nothing. I felt slightly uneasy as I gave my husband a look. He shrugged. Probably one of those already made worlds you downloaded. I shrugged and sighed. Maybe. But there's no normal sounds. Pausing the game, I tried to find the settings. I kept finding other things like weapon options, serial killer perks, even a reality box. The lettering was in italics and red. My husband gave another shrug. Has to be a mod. His voice calmed me. He was always right, so I looked back to the game and I nodded. The corners were growing darker. I closed out the pause menu, and on my HUD, where the hearts should have been, was a sanity meter. My character, who was regular Steve, didn't quite look like him anymore. He seemed disheveled, maybe even a little distressed, with a small twitch. My husband was moving around the bottom trying to find me. I kept my character and I could hear footsteps. Not of him, but of my husband's character. Disheveled Steve seemed to move all on his own, looking over his shoulder, eyes widened with slight fear and worry. Though the reality box wasn't checked, this looked real enough. The emotions were, at least. My husband was really into it, trying to find me in the game. I managed to look down as his part of the screen. His character wielded a machete and looked nothing like the skins I'd ever seen. This time, I felt real anxiety roll in my stomach. I picked up the controller and forced my character to move. He was swinging his arms, trying to run away from an oncoming threat. Death walked behind me. There was nothing else I could do besides run. My character ran to the forest I had never seen before in Minecraft. No matter how bright the torch, there was no way you could even see a foot in front of you. Within the forest, I heard whispers, sobbing, and pleading for freedom. By this point, I was freaking out, while my husband remained eerily calm. Running behind me, following my character, this game of hide and seek turned into a sick game of cat and mouse. My Steve, breathing hard, running out of energy, the time we had reached to a clearing, his face red and sweaty. I could almost smell him. That's how real it felt. And yet my husband stayed quiet, eyes glued to the screen, sitting on the edge of his seat, searching for my character, my Steve. I glanced at my husband, knuckles white and tight around the controller. Again, the whispering returned, louder, the rain pouring harder. It was growing almost impossible for me to pay attention. Our living room grew dark as the screen grew brighter. The forest around my Steve became lifelike. As I delved deeper into the dense woods, my muscles becoming lax. The moment I blinked was all it took. Rain touched my skin, cooling my burning flesh. As I took a deep breath in, all I could smell was the overwhelming scent of pine. My character looked over my shoulder, the glowing white eyes of Herobrine staring back at me. The scream was lodged in my throat. The only thing I could think to do was run. Yet, I remembered where I was in absolute terror. I couldn't breathe, blink, or think. I just started into its cold, dead, empty eyes. Only the faintest of cries escaped my lips. My fingers trembled, my teeth chattered from the creeping chill shooting through my spine. He stepped forward, out of the shadows, his very presence towering over me. I just stared at him, tears glistening within my eyes, making his figure blur.